We have something pretty special for you today on the channel. We're going to show you what it looks like to be professionally fit by a tour ball fitter. So we have Titleist coming to the David Toms Academy today to spend 90 minutes with me and fit me for the perfect Titleist golf ball. He's going to run me through a player evaluation, my game assessment. He's actually going to take me on the golf course, watch me play some holes, and recommend what ball I need to play to help me shoot lower scores. After using his green to tee fitting method, he will then at the end tell me between the Pro V1, the Pro V1X, the Pro V1X left dash, and the AVX, what is the perfect ball for me. So I hope you enjoy this. I hope you learned something. And if you ever have the chance, give it a try. Let's get started. Okay, so we're getting ready to start my session. David's already in a fitting, but I wanted to show you the 4 balls that we're going to be testing for today. So first we have the Pro V1X with the left dash. We have the Pro V1X. We have the standard Pro V. And we have the AVX. So what you're going to see in this video are how all 4 of these golf balls change certain characteristics when I hit them. I'm really interested to see what David thinks I need to be fit in. I like a soft ball around the green, but I'm also looking for as much yardage as possible. I'm sure there's a lot of you out there that are wanting the same thing. So let's get started.
So when we're gonna go on and tie it up, so we're gonna use our premium line to come up with different things, to learn about what you need, what you like, and match it together. That's the whole point. But the philosophy will be back from the green, back to the tee. Why? There's a couple reasons why. First of all, we're making every ball as long as we can. So even though one might fly longer for you and will be better, yeah, which is fair, it might be the angles, it might be the spin rates, it might be a little bit of, not because we're making them past what they are legal. So they're very close to each other, within 10 feet at every club head speed when we test them. At every club head speed, which is a lot of people. But what we were talking earlier, if you got a low ball hitter and you get a ball that stays up in the air a little longer and goes higher, that's going to manufacture, that's going to be longer. That's it. So that doesn't mean there's a longer ball for everybody, it's just for you. So part of the whole process is learning and matching it together. So the first shot is from the green back, there's a partial wedge. So I say 50 yards. I don't want a full wedge because loft and speed add spin to the equation. Okay. So when we take speed away, we get the reaction with the cover, we get to see how they work. So when we talk about urethane as a material, they're all urethane. So Pro V1, Pro V1X, AVX, and Pro V1X left dash, they're all urethane covers, but they're not the same cover. Now Pro V1 and Pro V1X share the same formula, they're the same cover, 2021. AVX, softer feel, lower compression golf ball, different cover. And then the left dash, which we haven't changed since we started, is a urethane cover also, but it's a different formula. So we have 3 different covers, and they will have an effect on how they feel, not only that, how they spin. So the first shot will be about a 50-yard shot, partial wedge, we'll look at that, and we pay attention to the windows. How, hey, I like the low, does it stay low, does it jump on the face? And we look at numbers a little bit. What club do you have?
56, but I've got a 60 if you'd rather.
It's your call. But look, remember, I love both. If you're on the golf course and you have about 50 yards with a good lie, what club would you hit?
56.
I like, look, what do we know about that? So we go from 60 or 58 to 56 with D-loft in that. We know the spin rate is going to be different from the get. Sure. I love seeing that because it's actually going to make a bigger difference. Okay. So we'll get to see, and if we need to change, we'll change back. So the first bag is Pro V1s, 2 dots on it just so I can mark them and get them back. But we'll start with the Pro V1. We're aiming at the black on white ball. But we're only going like, what, 3rd pylon?
So the 3rd or 4th?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
All right, Dustin. I'm nervous for y'all over there, boys.
So as part of the process, the first thing that I don't tell you is how to play the shot.
Okay.
You guys are instructors, you guys play it all the time. There's so many ways of playing the shot. Get 100 players, give them 50 yards, and mark a dot with spin rate and height, and you have about 100 dots.
Sure.
get all those 100 players to play a driver, and you have what, lump. Everybody tries to lump up. You know, we want high launch, low spin of the driver. On here, technique is different, but we do look at key factors like that. So landing angle and spin rate. 45 degrees of landing angle is a neutral landing angle. When you come about neutral, 6,500 RPMs or so will give you one hop and stop type of deal. The lower you bring the ball, the more spin you need. The higher you bring the ball, the less spin you need. So when we go there, so we learn about it. You know, that's what we're doing right now. So that ball, for example, I normalize it to an elevation. So it's 41 degrees of landing angle, so it's about 4 degrees shallower. At 7260, so almost 7,300 RPMs. Why is that key? Is it, well, your go-to shot needs to be a one hop and stop.
Yeah, I don't play high.
No, I don't see that. And by the way, most good players tend to keep it a little low. They control the bounds. They do that, and they take away the firmness of the green too. You know, it's always going to bounce about 10 feet and go and grab. So it's pretty good. But we can definitely affect that shot by changing the cover. So what we're going to do, hit a couple more. We'll put them in here, and then we'll change the formula of the cover, so the model, and you'll see how the window will change. But again, 40.8 landing, 7,600 RPMs. Well, that shot was completely different. It's not your go-to shot, but you know what? It had enough to be good anyway, so you can get away with that. Okay. Now let's switch from the first back to the third back. So I'm going to skip. So Pro V1 and Pro V1X, Pro V1 and Pro V1X have exactly the same cover, different feel, different compression. That's what gives you the feel. This one is the AVX. Now we talked about it earlier a little bit.
Right.
Very, very soft feel ball. People love that. There's a big misconception. Let me just click right here, I'll tell you. There's a big misconception between club head speed and compression. If you're slow club head speed, you need a lower compression. And that is definitely not accurate. That is definitely something that is like, if you're slow, you need soft. No, it's a preference. There's a compression rating that is different on every golf ball. It's not standardized in every company. So we measure it, we have it. We don't talk about it too much, but the lower the compression, the softer the feedback it is. But it still doesn't mean that it's going to spin more, it's going to stay in the air longer. So when we talk about club head speed, for example, being a requirement, what if I'm a low ball hitter with the same club head speed as you as a high ball hitter? We're looking for completely different help. So that's what we're looking at. We're looking at where you are, where you got your club head speed. We want to maximize it, but we can't do anything about it.
So you're not going off of club speed?
We can't. No, we won't. And the reason we won't is just simple. Like I said, first of all, I can't do anything about it. Secondly, the balls on this shot, and this is key. The reason why we ask for this shot first, there's a 1-to-1 smash factor to this shot. Meaning for every club head speed you move the ball, typically around 1.05 on that one. So 51 mile an hour club head speed generated 53 mile an hour ball speed. So it's usually that 1-to-1. And we can all go through it and hit it, and we can bring the senior club champ or the senior beginner, and if they hit it well at this point, the 1-to-1 power transfer remains. So even though 106, what are you, club head speed wise?
With what, guy?
Yeah.
115.
115, 106, 100, 102. We get to the shot and the distance got, the club head speed shrunk. It went away. And now all of a sudden I got a better touch and all that, I got you there. So club head speed on this shot is no different for anybody, but technique is, repetition, and what are you looking for on the golf ball. And I think that's key. So do the same shot, and pay attention to it. We get the data, but pay attention to the window, pay attention to how the ball feels, and we'll talk a little bit about it.
I may have towed that a little bit.
I was about to ask you, did you notice something different? What happened? Now, the first thing I can tell you is, obviously, shots are different, but it dropped to 6,800 RPM. So from the get-go, urethane, a little less spin. We know that. That's not a secret. AVX spins less than Pro V1 and Pro V1X around the greens. Now, what I noticed, and I don't know if you did, and that was a little Toby said that, is the desire of the ball to get a little higher.
Yes.
It kind of rolls off the face a little higher, and it's just because if you engage, by your low ball flight, you engage the low grooves on it, it goes, leave the club spinning. This one, it doesn't quite engage as quickly, so it rolls 1 or 2 grooves higher, and it goes higher with less spin. It's not a bad thing, it's just a different shot.
It definitely feels different. I can't tell if I'm actually hitting off the toe or it just feels.
It's rolling on the club face.
Yeah.
I can tell you that.
Yeah.
It's just rolling a little bit, so it leaves a little higher. So you're still spinning it pretty good. Your technique is very good, but we got about a foot, 2 feet higher by comparison. So from 30 to 36, landing angle remains, but the spin rate keeps dropping. So all of a sudden, look, a good player sees this shot twice and is going to adapt and change.
Right.
That defeats the whole purpose of what we're doing. We're looking for a ball that adapts to your normal shot and does everything we want. So we want a mid to low trajectory with its spin. Here we're going a little more higher with a little less spin. And I'm not saying it's bad, I'm just saying it's different. And that's what people don't think. So when we design these golf balls, we're not thinking specifically of club head speed. No. A lot of people love this ball because it feels softer to them. A lot of people come up. Yeah, but a lot of people come and describe it opposite, and he cannot, as you guys use TrackMan all the time, I use TrackMan all the time. He doesn't measure feel. So if you tell me that it felt hard to you, I wouldn't argue with that. I would let you be and try to see why. I think for comparison, since it doesn't spin as much, if you describe it as harder, I'm okay with that, but it's a way softer feel. And then the putter will get there.
That's what it is, yeah.
Yeah.
It just feels like
It just doesn't leave the club face there. Now, switch back to the Pro V1 X, which, and I say back because it's back to that cover.
Is that the
No,
two
second
dot?
back.
So 1 dot?
Yeah, one dot. So what you'll notice is even though the ball is going to sound different, it's going to be a little clickier, you'll see the ball leaving and reacting like you're used to with the Pro V1 or the other ball.
Yeah, immediately.
You see how it leaves the club face? It doesn't roll a little more. And I know it doesn't translate to a video. It's just something that we do it.
Totally.
But when you're standing up here, you can hear it too, and you can see the ball fly different.
Yeah.
So yeah, and now back to the 73, 7,400 RPMs, landing angle about 42, but it's just a different shot. They're all good, it's just different.
So like when you're doing a fitting, how much, before we leave here and even see me hit my 7 or drive or whatever, do you kind of already have an idea of what ball I'm...
No, not yet. I do get more from our conversation when we started.
Yeah.
Like the pre, what do you like? What are you looking for? So I got an idea that way. But I almost on purpose, I like to almost think that I'm wrong so we can give it a fair chance. Sure. But we start going on it. I know you like the soft feel.
Yeah.
I also know that you need the low spin.
Huh.
Well, you
right,
told me about that.
Sure.
Yeah, I was listening, so I'm like, all right. So I'll go like, all right, if we're gonna go low spin, yeah, I got my lower spinning ones, but I also want to know how much that your mechanics influence the window. So if you're better off high than low,
okay,
that's perfect. What if you're better off low with more spin? So I don't know.
Sure.
So I leave it open, and I do as a fitter. I try to start as we go. I try to create new questions for you.
okay.
You know, I'll go like, all right, hold on. So we know one thing. We know that if you're going to go with a 56 degree, which is a little less loft than your 58, trajectory is going to be lower, so shallow landing angle, we need more spin.
Okay.
So I know that the influence of taking spin away on your shot with a 56 will be completely different if you go to your go-to 58. Now, you told me I can do it with my 58. I get it. With your 58, we'll see a different window.
Sure.
We'll see more spin because the speed will be different. I got it. But if this is the one we chose and we're going to go this way, well, we know more spin.
Yeah.
So going with a little less spin on the AVX is noticeable.
Sure.
Now, there's another question. Say, hey, I got Pro V1X, AVX, I got left dash. And left dash is another formula. It spins more than the AVX. It quite doesn't spin on a machine test like the Pro V1 and Pro V1X. But I don't know how different it is to you. I've seen it spin depending on the mechanics, sometimes way less, sometimes the same. 8,800 RPMs, 8,000 RPMs, I'm sorry, the most spin.
Yes.
41.6, so we keep in the same landing, about 35, 33 feet. So we keep in now the same window as the beginning. With the Pro V1X jumping a little more spinny than the Pro V1, that's not by surprise, it happens.
Yeah.
It just feels a little firmer. How about that?
It does.
The clickier ball spins more in our brand. It doesn't. So you would
Okay.
think the softer the more spin.
Right.
No, it really doesn't matter. It's a compression feel that you're describing when you describe feel. The spin we get it from the cover and the reaction and that interaction with the whole ball.
Totally different. Like then I would think.
But we're based on Velada days or one balls. So the compression of the golf ball had a lot to do with the performance of the ball on the field. And that was 100% accurate.
Yeah.
But we're not building one balls anymore. They're firm, large cores that they're all really solid. You know, any brand, open them up and look at them and you're like, holy cow. There's very little room. The covers are very thin. The mantle protectors are thin. So that density of that core just gives you a different feedback. It's like comparing rocks. They're all rocks, but they're, one might be less dense than the other. It's still a rock, but the feedback on your hands changes and the sound changes. We're sound people.
So this is the left dash?
Pro V1X left dash. So Pro V1X left dash is not a new ball. It's actually really not a new ball. We came up with it a few years ago. It was a tour ball. It was a very specific niche. So this is my PowerPoint. Pro V1 ball flight today is here, mid-fly. Pro V1X, because of dimple design, flies higher. Spin rate around the green, because of the cover, we can say is very close to each other, similar spin rates. Off the tee, they're equal spin rates, they're low spin rates, and I think that's one major misunderstanding. In 2017, we lowered the spin of the Pro V1 to match the low spin of the Pro V1X. That day, the Pro V1 got longer for most people. On that day, it stopped ballooning, so it stayed underneath. And people say we switched it. We never switched it. We just lowered the spin and it stayed there. So today, Pro V1X flies higher with more spin on the irons and the longer irons than the Pro V1 does. Pro V1 stays underneath. So on tour, we wanted some guys wanted that window, the higher window of the Pro V1X, but they didn't want the extra spin on the irons. So the Pro V1X left dash is a lower spinning Pro V1X. Yeah, that ball is more square.
Yeah.
And that ball will jump up and spin.
Right.
So it's got more spin than the one before.
Slower club speed.
Slower club speed, better smash factor, a little more forward, but you're not gliding to it. It's just a different shot. It's clearly low spin off the tee with high spin around the green, so you can have both. And I think that's the problem with people. Think you gotta choose one or the other one. And I think that's more of the balada days.
Yes.
Oh, you play balada, you play tough light. What do you mean? There's only two balls? Yeah, this one spins, this one goes long. So, oh my God, what I do, and most players pick spin, the good ones. And then no, today you got both in one package. I think that's why the price point being higher, I think you're getting more ball today than you did before. It lasts longer, it's pretty long off the tee, and it spins better.